Then we got James from Talksport. We got cameras are coming on. Right. Are we missing James from Sky? If we're missing James from Sky, then we'll need to start with Ian Winter. That's right. And then we'll go to the other broadcasters, James and Pete. Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Jack. It's Toby who's working with Ian. I don't seem to have permission to record.
Okay. Bear with me.
Toby Horwood is who I am.
And me too, please, as well, yeah. Pete.
There we go. You should have it now.
Thank you very much. Thank
Brilliant.
you.
Pete, have you got it?
Yeah, could I have it, please?
Who's talking?
Sorry, it's James.
James.
It's not Jack, it's Max. Max, sorry.
That's right, that's right.
I've got it now, thanks, Jude.
Right. James, you should have it now. So you're here. You may as well kick it off, Pete.
No problem at all. Good afternoon, Nuno.
Hello, good afternoon.
It's been a very long season. I imagine you're delighted to have your 58th pre-match press conference.
Yeah, it's been a long season. Yeah, a lot of games, of course.
We spoke to Leander Dendoncker a half an hour ago, and he talked about the disappointment of the Chelsea game and not making it to Europe. Have you had to lift the players a little going into this game against Olympiacos?
Depends on the way you see things. Of course, that was not the best one of our performances, but that doesn't say it's not a reflex of all the season. All the season you have to look at how you did things, with who you did things, how you improve. I think we've been able to be more consistent through the season with more games in the previous season. So I think we have improved as a team. Achieving things is not how I look, it's how we did, how we play, how we've been able to compete through all the games. And I think we are still on the process. We still have a tough game tomorrow. And we have to bounce back from the previous performance. So this is what guides us. This is how we work.
Is it almost important just to forget the Premier League season and think about what might be a 4-game mini tournament in Europe now?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Is it important to forget about what happened with the Premier League, to put that to one side and now focus on what could be 4 games to win a Europa League?
No, the process is the same. This is the continuation of all the seasons, game by game. We know that we have tomorrow, but we don't forget what was behind. We don't ignore what is in front of us. It's only the philosophy that we embrace is the game by game process. So each game we approach it, we try to give as much details as we can, prepare as better as we can. So we've been able to compete tomorrow against Olympiacos in a proper way. It's going to be a tough game, but we are looking forward to it.
They've had a long season like yourselves, the same sort of length of season, but they've also had an extra week's break at the end of their season. Does that make a difference right now when we're talking about week 54?
No, I don't think there's a big difference. I think the situation has affected all the teams, and all the teams have struggled to be able to perform well again. And I know that Olympiacos will be ready as we are.
Is it about facing a team? Their away record is 9 defeats in their last 11, and yet in their last away game they beat Arsenal. Is it about treating them like the side that beat Arsenal rather than the one that tends to struggle when they play away from Greece?
It's like looking at them with the qualities and the talent that they have on their players and on their manager. We know the talent is there, the quality is there. We have analyzed, and we know that what is in front of us is a tough opponent, but we are looking at ourselves. Let's try to play good. Let's try to be compact, solid. So I think the players are ready, and we are ready to go. The only thing that's missing is going to be the fans tomorrow, but we have to deal with this situation and overcome it.
They're giving a debut in Europe to a goalkeeper. You've obviously played in goal. You know the pressure of that position. Is that an opportunity for yourselves, or the fact that the fans aren't there, does that make it a kind of easier environment for someone to make their debut in coming to someone like Wolves?
Yeah, the first is the situation of José Sá. We worked together in Porto. He's a fantastic goalkeeper and a terrific boy. I wish him all the best, and he recovers as soon as possible, so he's be able to compete again. He's a very, very good goalkeeper. Of course, changing goalkeeper in such an important game is always a situation that can disturb, but the quality of the second goalkeeper of Olympiacos for sure will not make it easier for us.
And the final question from me, I think you know the manager of Olympiacos very well. I think he's beaten you twice, you've beaten him twice, and 3 draws. But I guess this might be the biggest prize you've had to compete with, for the fact that who wins here goes into Europa League.
I meet him. I know him very well because we played together. We were teammates, and he's a very good friend of mine.
But a big prize, though, nonetheless, whoever wins this time round.
Let's play the game, for sure. Both of us want to our teams to perform well and play good. In the end, we'll see. But the friendship will be there.
Thank you, Nuno. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You mentioned the supporters not having them inside the ground. In normal circumstances, of course, Molineux would be absolutely rocking tomorrow night. Have you missed their presence more than you thought you would?
Yeah, we miss them. We really miss them. I think football miss the fans. Me particularly, I miss the atmospheres at Molineux. And tomorrow, it's a shame that we cannot compete together in this important match for us.
And the players, presumably the same applies to them as well.
Yeah, of course. And for you and for everybody. Fans are the essence of football, and we don't have them.
We were talking a moment ago to Leander, and he mentioned that Daniel Pedence and what he might have been able to give you some insight, a little bit of extra insight into how Olympiacos will set up against you. Has that been useful for you?
Of course, it's useful. It's always useful. All the details, all the info that you can gather and pass it to the players. It's important, but among them also they speak, they share opinions, and Daniel is a big source of information. So we have to take all that we can from him.
And there's no desire on your part to be tempted to play for a goalless draw, knowing that Pedro Neto's away goal could be so important to you.
It's a new game. You know that anything can happen, and we have to approach it as a new game. Doesn't mean anything what happened in the first draw. Would be a mistake to rely on that. So let's compete well and let's try to perform good.
Best of luck.
Thank you, Ian.
Hi, Nuno.
Hello.
Nuno, this season, as we know, has gone on for more than a year now for your side. Just how have this side continued to remotivate themselves and keep going over such a long period of time?
With a lot of commitment and a lot of belief. It's back what I mentioned before, is how we did things, how we do things. It's the same group of players. It's the same. So we've been a long time together. So we know that we have to engage. We have to commit ourselves to each and new challenge that we have ahead of us. And we've been good on that because we have a small squad. So every player has been really taking care of themselves. And maybe it's lucky. It's lucky that we don't have, or we have all the players available. Maybe it's lucky. Maybe, who knows?
Wolves have exceeded expectations every season since you've been here. But is there added pressure now on you because you need to win this competition to be in Europe again next season?
We don't need to win. We want to compete and achieve our goals. It's totally different.
Are you concerned at all about the short turnaround time between the end of this Europa League campaign and the start of next season? There's not going to be a huge amount of time to rest and prepare for next season.
I think it's not going to be an end and not a beginning. It's a continuing process. We cannot ignore that we're gonna have not too much time. So it's not a stop and start. It's a continuation of our work. We cannot define that we're gonna stop and we're gonna start again. Everything has been disturbed by the pandemic, so we have to look at this continuing process through the year.
Are you hoping that the Premier League would give Wolves a bit of extra time, maybe miss a couple of weekends of the new season if you were to progress in the Europa League?
I think the Premier League should acknowledge that the teams that are involved in Europe, depending on how far they go, they have to acknowledge that the players require more time to recover, because we're going to play in August. So you're going to start playing in September. So I'm sure that they look at it and they will adjust the schedule.
And just finally from me, Nuno, there's transfer rumours everywhere at the moment. Now the transfer window is open. Have you had any assurances that you'll be able to keep some of your key players this summer? Speculation, James. We try to ignore them. We don't pay attention to them, so we don't get distracted. For tomorrow, all the players are available and everybody is committed to it. Thanks, Nuno. Good luck.
Thank you, James. Thank you.
Could I come in here? Good afternoon, Nuno. It's been such an intense end to the Premier League season. The games have come thick and fast. What sort of shape are the players in as you go into the Europa League campaign?
Like I say, everybody's ready. We prepare well, and we are ready to compete.
And Olympiacos have already proved that they can take on English teams in England and beat them, as they did with Arsenal. What sort of game are you expecting from Olympiacos?
I'm expecting a tough game because it's a good team. We felt the difficulties back in Athens, and we've been looking at them, and we know that it's a good team. So what happened before is, like, I think is not so important. It's always a new situations that will happen. New questions will be in the game, but we're gonna face a tough opponent. But at the same time, we are looking forward to the game and ready to go. That is more important. We want to compete. We want to play the game.
And just following on from that last question about the end of the Europa League campaign and the start of the Premier League season so quickly, the Chelsea manager, Frank Lampard, said a few days ago he thought the Premier League season was starting too early. Have you got any thoughts on that yourself?
Like I said, I think is related to what I said before. Depends on how far you go, what is your final game, and for sure no team will be able to give too much time to the players to recover. So that's why we are approaching in a continuation of what we've been doing. So we'll be prepared to start again. So it cannot be a stop and go, if you know what I mean. It has to be. We have to adjust the time of the players that are going to be out. We have to adjust their traveling, all these things, because we have to look that in such period of time we cannot afford to stop and go. We have to keep on trying to keep our fitness levels and all these things. So, but I'm hopefully that the Premier League will look at that and allow teams that are involved a little bit more of time, mainly because of the players. They need time. The players need time. After the pandemic, it was such a tight schedule, and we know that we're going to face a tight schedule next season. So they must be aware of the health of the players. So we must take care of them.
Thank you. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, Pete.
Nuno, if I may very briefly, for some of your players, this has been their first experience of Europe over this season. Do you feel that they've learned from the experience, and what sort of things will those players have learned?
I think we have learned a lot. I think being involved in European competition at the same time, being able to perform well and play good in the Premier League. He brought us a lot of knowledge, and especially for the players, because we started in traveling we've been to Armenia, we've been to all over the place, and we have a young players, like you said, that's been involved in the first time in these kind of challenges. But I think the balance of the squad with a lot of international players, it's been good. It's been good because the knowledge and the sharing of experiences make young players grow, and not only for the players. I think for all the club, it's been a huge challenge, and only can make us better.
Yes, and you've extended that not just to the players on the field, but I think for all of the away trips, you've taken some of the very young players, haven't you? Some of the teenagers have been out, and that must have been an inspiring experience for them too.
It was. I think since the Asia Trophy, we've been always trying to put young players, the young boys of the under-23s mixed with us, and it's a part of our process. It's something that now we don't have and we miss, because it's the way we work. We always rely on the backup of the under-23s. We don't have them now, but I think all the experience that they've been involved, TP, Dion, Luke, for sure they are better now. So this is building, and hopefully in the future we can repeat the same experiences with these grown players with us. So it's been a pleasure to be involved in such a competition like this.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Simon, are you here for 5? You're on mute.
Cheers, Max. Thank you. Nuno, just on the fans, it seems a long time ago now, but it was before the first leg of this tie that you said you couldn't see the point in playing football without fans. Now you've played so many matches without fans there. What is your feeling about the whole situation?
My opinion didn't change too much. The only thing, I still believe that the more important thing in football is the fans. This is for and what we work, and we want to compete with fans in the stadium. But at the same time, I think we were committed to football. We cannot stop. The pandemic is not over, and it's still getting worse. Maybe a second wave is coming, but at the same time, we are committed to help football continue. And this is the spirit that we have engaged in this situation. But my personal opinion hasn't changed too much. But after that, I think each one of us will have time to decide what to do by themselves with these situations. But for now, everybody in football must help, must commit, must stay together so football can continue. And hopefully the politics and the health people will help us and find a solution so fans go back. But for now, I think we must, as a mission, we must help football.
Does it feel a little bit empty though, because this is not the sport that you've been associated with, that you're a professional at? The sport that you were involved in is one with supporters, with all the passion, not a kind of sanitized version of what we've got now.
Yeah, this is the feeling that I think everybody has, emptiness before, during, and after the matches. Doesn't feel the same. But this is what I said before. We must put that aside, that sadness, and keep on going.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's it for broadcasters. So if broadcasters will be able to leave the meeting now, and then we'll do the second embargo.